list of games for 2024. We're going to talk about my analytics right now.
I'm Scott.
I'm Jen.
I'm Dennis.
We're Retro Rivals.
And we're going to talk about analytics for 2024 of all the games we beat. And now we're going to do my list because it's the best.
Oh, I'm expecting a lot of good games on this list. And if they're not, I'm going to call her out on it.
Are there any bad games?
Just the one Jen's played.
Okay, shut up. So we're going to start by genre. And so, like Scott, the only run and gun I played this year was Death Wish Enforcers.
Only run and gun genre.
I played this year was Death Wish Enforcers for an entire hour. And if you watch Scott's video, it was kind of like, that was a game that we played. And that was about it. You played again, I played again, you'd throw it in a river.
I would not play it again.
It's not your type of game. Scott kind of carried Dennis about the entire game. The entire hour.
Dennis just wanted it to be over.
Yes, he definitely did. So we're not going to talk labor over run and gun any longer than that. We're just going to be done. Hack and slash. We talked about...
I played that game.
You did.
Hack and slash. It's good.
It's good. We played Darksiders.
We?
No. We played Gauntlet.
We?
We? Yes, because the two of them
We did not play Darksiders.
Okay, but
That's a one player.
Let me.
You
played.
played. This is your list.
Yes, we played Gauntlet Slayer Edition and Zombie Vikings. All three of us. I played Darksiders. Gauntlet was good. Zombie Vikings was whatever. Darksiders was friggin' amazing.
Did you ever play?
I never played the
Oh
Darksiders.
my god, it's so good.
It's been so long since I played it. I can barely remember it. I just like when I watched Jen play it, and I'm like, oh yeah.
So
Kind of like putting back.
It's so good. You're a war, and you're just going on a rampage. It's amazing. Although the way it started out, I was like, I'm never going to get this game. I'm never going to be able to beat this. It's one of those games that kind of throws you into like a starting screen where you're never meant to win, and then the game starts. And every time a game does that, it gets me every time. I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be too difficult for me. I was like, oh wait, they just did something fun there to make me hate my life. So, anyways, but Darksiders was good, minus that one spider that killed me nonstop. Action adventure. My list is very different from your list, from Dennis's list. I played Alone with You, I played Ghost Trick, and I played Spider-Man.
I only see one good game there.
Ghost Trick was really good. Alone with You was kind of a throw-in walking sim. I had fun with it.
Neither one of us would like Ghost Trick.
I liked Ghost Trick. It was very different, but I played it for a long time. I just kept putting it off, and so I know I didn't love it while I liked it. It was quirky, it was different, it was hilarious, but it was just kind of something I would play when I had time. It wasn't something I looked forward to playing each day, but at the end of it, I was like, I should really finish it.
You were trying to get through it.
I enjoyed it, but the ending...
Sounds like it.
No, it really, really was good, but the ending just kept ending. And I was like, okay, be done. Be done. Be done? And it never, It just was one of those games that was more of a time filler than it was amazing. It was good. It wasn't great.
That sounds like my life.
Time filler.
Platformers, I had 4. Trine 5, Forgotten Anne, Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon, and Curse of the Moon 2. Curse of the Moon and Curse of the Moon 2 are not like Ritual of the Night. They play more like a 16-bit era Castlevania. There's different ways to play it. I played it I'm not good at retro games way, and I played it with unlimited lives, which is the only way I could have played it. It was a lot of fun. They weren't long games, but I did enjoy them. Trine 5, I always have fun with when you two are not trying to make me mad.
I think Trine 5
was the same as Trine 4.
Was the same as Trine 4. Was different than Trine 3.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you like the Trine series, you'd like
it's
the
fifth
same
one.
one.
Yeah,
I think we would play Trine 6 if they came out with a Trine 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun enough that you want to play the next one in the series. Forgotten and it's a good game. I liked the story a lot,
but
stay vigilant.
It's just there's not a lot of substance there. Like the story has some good substance, but the gameplay it's a bit of a lackluster puzzle platformer. There's not a whole lot to it. So
I want to play.
The story was really good, was the reason you played Forgotten Man. Metroidvania continues to be a genre that I have more fun with year over year. Sometimes I think it's going to overtake horror. And this year I played fairly decent amount of Metroidvanias. Curse of the Sea Rats, Record of Lodoss War, Deedlit, and Wonder Labyrinth.
That one's an awesome one.
It is awesome. It's just a lot of title.
Who came up with that name? And I don't even know if that's a word. Deedlit?
It is now.
It is now. Metroid Dread and Shantae Half Genie Hero. I will tell you, there's not one single game on that list I didn't enjoy.
Curse of the Sea Rats?
No, I really enjoyed Curse of the Sea Rats. And I've played 2 Shantae games so far. They're both amazing. That's my second Metroid game. I friggin' well loved Metroid. I will say I played with a Retro Fighters controller and a Switch Pro controller. And I had to switch out for the Switch Pro controller because the last boss, I couldn't do the screw attack around the second form fast enough with the non-pro controller. Yeah, it was really frustrating me, and as soon as I switched that out, it was much easier. I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to beat this game. I really felt like that.
It's the first game we've ever even seen a difference.
Yeah,
with that controller.
Yeah.
Because I usually use it for most of my retro RPGs, stuff like that.
It just didn't seem like the jump button was responsive enough, and yes, I was.
Did you break my button?
No, it just didn't seem responsive enough. But when I had the Switch Pro controller, it was very responsive. So as I was trying to do that screw attack, because he's shooting and you have to go around before.
Do you believe her?
I feel bad for Scott that you're not good at the screw attack.
Yeah.
Anyways, that would probably be my favorite on the list. Although Record of Lodoss War, Deedlit, and Wonder Labyrinth was amazing. They're all amazing.
Freaking right it was.
I loved them all.
I picked that one up for you.
RPG, I played 4 this year. Fable 2, Skies of Arcadia, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and South Park Stick of Truth. I always thought I was more of an action RPG fan. I think I like turn-based more. I think I'm coming over to the dark side.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
She's been assimilated.
One of us.
South Park Stick of Truth made me laugh my butt off.
See, South Park Stick of Truth is turn-based in a sense, but it's got this reactive.
Yes.
You have to deflect the enemy's attack, so it's time-based too.
Yeah.
Some of it is, for sure. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth made me excited to play the third one. I really, really loved it. I don't think many games hit as hard as Skies of Arcadia have and ever will. And Fable 2, I only was lukewarm about at the first, and then I restarted it playing it the way I wanted to play it, not how people think I should play it. I didn't. This is fantasy. I love you. But I don't want a husband in the game, and I don't want to raise a child. So I didn't do any of that in this game. It's fantasy.
Well,
I just want to go fight.
That's what I want in a game. A wife and kid.
Yeah. So I didn't want that. I wanted to just play the game, so I restarted it. Didn't do any of that, and it was a much better game. Scott's gonna argue with me on this, but I'm gonna tell him why I'm right. I played 2 shooters this year.
I did not finish Resident Evil 6.
Ada's campaign is not
what?
part of the main campaign.
BS. You won't know until you finish that because it ties it all together.
But you don't have to.
That shouldn't be there. Resident Evil 6 shouldn't be there. She didn't finish it.
Weigh in, let me know if I'm wrong.
Just tell her, yeah.
It's not inherently co-op, and I played it co-op.
I hear a lot of excuses.
I don't know what his name is, and I got in trouble last time from not knowing what his name is. It's like Bulk or Butch or something like that. The cop you play with, I'm like, he's not part of the main, group of characters, so he doesn't matter. So why am I playing? Alex keeps blowing me off. He won't play it with me to finish out the campaign. So I'm assuming
Told you I'd play it.
Well, then that's what I'm gonna have to do. But
Well, then you'll take it off the list.
no, it's already on the list.
Well, you
so
can't put it on next year's list.
I won't.
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
I do. I don't think it's canon to the entire series to play Ada's campaign. Maybe I'm wrong. I have played through probably.
You know what I hear? Fake gamer.
Fake gamer.
Don't make me rant on Instagram.
Fake gamer.
Okay, so anyways, I'm probably a third of the way through Ada's campaign, if not further. And yeah, Zombieland Double Tap Road Trip. It's just too much dialogue and.
Oh, I said in my video, I'm like, if they had cut out all the dialogue, the game would have been better.
Yeah, and like 3 hours shorter.
Could have had zero dialogue, and the game would have been better.
Definitely, I agree with you guys there. Playing through it, like the action, like the sequences were great. If you could get there,
yeah.
You spent more time listening to them talk
about nothing.
About nothing.
Yeah.
Just let us play the game.
You're not wrong. I had one simulation game, Papers, Please. Would not be Scott's sort of game. He'll tell you that if I talk about it for any length of time. Because he doesn't
That wouldn't be my kind of game.
I thought it was really interesting. And I think there's another game he also made. It's called The Return of the Obra Dinn. I really want to play that now that I've played Papers, Please. But I don't know if it has a physical, so I'll probably get it digital. Papers, Please was really cool. It's not going to sound cool when I talk about it.
It's not.
You're checking documents. You're trying to find out who's forging documents to get across the border, who's trying to go illegally. There's a whole sequence, shut up, where you're like not the most safe. Anyways, it's good. Tell me why it's good.
Oh.
Agree with me.
The wizard.
Papers,
the best part.
Please.
Yeah, when the wizard shows up,
The wizard
says, "You shall not pass these papers in."
Horror games.
You barely played any horror
I
games.
barely played any. It was my most played. I know one year I had 17 horror games. I think that was last year. I mixed it up a bit this year. I had...
Try playing some good games.
Shut up. I had 7. Pineview Drive, Condemned Criminal Origins, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, Deadly Premonitions, Callisto Protocol, Silent Hill 2 Remake, and Eternal Darkness. And most of them were really good. I'm looking at you, Pineview Drive. Condemned Criminal Origins was really surprising. It was not on my radar. And
It was a recommendation, wasn't it?
well, we talked about 360 because of the whole 360 being like a big topic of conversation this year.
Yeah.
So we talked about games we'd like to play, and people kept mentioning this game, so I had to play it. And Deadly Premonition. I took both your recommendations and I played both of them, but Condemned Criminal Origins really was awesome. It was worth every single minute. Deadly Premonitions had its highs and lows, but for the most part I liked it. Callisto Protocol, and some people will have tizzy about this, is a better Dead Space to me than Dead Space. I really liked it. Silent Hill 2 Remake was amazing. Eternal Darkness, I want to smack myself for not playing it before now. It's an amazing game. My first GameCube game I've ever played through. And Silent Hill Shattered Memories almost shattered me completely when it froze up and deleted my entire save file right before I opened the last door.
Yeah, it's
I'm
kind of a little quirk, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fun.
The game
it's
does
nice.
that.
It's good. It's good. So I'm considering that finished, even though I didn't get to open that final door. Based on my choices,
So
saw
what
my
I hear,
ending.
she has 2 games on here she never finished.
Yeah.
I finished it.
Genre.
Genres.
You
Best
say
word
genre?
ever. No, I don't say that word.
It's basically a French word. I
It's
think.
not in my vocabulary. It is a French word. It
But-
shouldn't be made in English. Genre.
Still, the most games I played in a single. We're not talking hours. We're talking just the games. 24.1% of them were horror games. So that's my biggest. Scary. My biggest genre. The smallest ones were Sim, because I had one, and Run and Gun, I also had one. Hours played in genres. What does that say? 214 in RPGs.
Nice.
By far the biggest category, almost double what horror was.
Finally getting some good games in.
Finally getting some good games.
Yeah.
I
One of us. One of us.
I mean, we'll go over why, because I played a lot of one game, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So I did play 9 different consoles.
Ah, I beat you.
You did. You had 11. And surprising no one, PS5 was the most, followed by PS4 and Switch being tied at 6, and then Xbox 360 at 5. I did play 5
Nice.
Xbox 360 games.
Impressive.
I know. And Switch, yeah, at 6 as well. I played a lot of Switch games. And then hours, I had 200 hours on the PS5. PS4 was like third.
Well, you know why? Because you played a lot of your PS4 games on the PS5.
I did play some of my PS4 games on the PS5, for
Yeah.
sure.
Ah.
Yeah. Gaming habits. Yeah, I played a lot more single player games than co-op games. 24% in co-op. 75% in single player. I play more modern than retro by a landslide, and I play, when it's my choice, I play modern all the time for single player games. Pretty much always. I don't know what to say. I can't apologize. I just
This
play
hasn't
whatever
been a
I play.
trend for you, though.
It has always,
Always
been a trend. My first 6 months versus my last 6 months.
Pretty even there, isn't it?
Almost even.
10 out.
Yeah.
Had I not finished Forgotten Anne, and
Dead even?
I would have been almost dead even. Like, it was a half hour in the difference. So
It doesn't get much closer than that.
it doesn't. 284.5 hours in the first 6 months, 294 in the last 6 months, for a split of 49.51. Here's what's gonna surprise Scott. I consistently have the most amount of hours played between the two of us, and I have less hours this year by almost 50 hours.
You suck.
I suck. But I played 50 games last year for 626 hours, but I played 29 games for 578.5 hours.
Because of the RPGs.
Because of the RPGs. I played more RPGs this year. They were longer games. I had less games.
Yep.
I just couldn't get through them fast enough. Gaming year in review, I completed 29 games. I had 578.5 hours played, 9 genres, 9 consoles. This next screen's my favorite because I get to talk about the best and the bottom of co-op and single player games, and I'll do like Scott did. We'll go from the bottom of this. We'll show you guys the screen at the end so you can see everything. But my most hours played in one single game was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at 115 hours. And I probably could have played it longer than that. Because once I got to a certain point in the game, I think it was around chapter 9, chapter 10, I was just like, okay, this is taking a long time. And I
100
thought...
hours in. You know, this is getting a little
Yeah,
long.
Yeah.
I thought about the fact that Halloween's coming. I wanted to do the Silent Hill
I
nurse.
remember you saying that because
Yeah.
you were worried there's a few big games coming in around Halloween.
Well, the nurse costume.
That's your
I wanted-
genre.
That was my genre.
Horror games.
I wanted to do the nurse costume. I knew it was going to take time. I wanted to play Callisto Protocol because Moco really wanted me to play it. He had sent it to me. I can't thank him enough for that. I loved that game. I wanted to play that before Silent Hill 2 Remake. And I wanted to play both of those games for Halloween, which I got to. So I probably could have spent more of the... I could have been closer to 150 hours had I done every last single thing on the map. But I really, really loved it. I played so much Queen's Blood. It was ridiculous. My bottom co-op game, for me, personally, was Zombieland Double Tap. I wouldn't play it again. I died in the last level. I didn't get to... I finished the game, but I...
Oh, you didn't even finish the game. That's 3 games she never finished.
I did finish
Wow,
the game!
fake
you guys
gamer.
didn't bring me back or whatever or something.
Because you said not to.
I did.
She was only weighing us down. She said, "Go on, you finish it without me." And we were like, "We know."
She said because the game is Zombieland Double Tap, but she tapped out.
Yeah, I tapped out.
Zombieland Double Tapped out.
Double tapped out.
I'm pretty sure you died in the supermarket, though. I don't think you did any of the supermarket with me and Dennis.
Oh, I was the only one
was the
for
only
about
one.
for about 3 hours trying to find an opening
Right around, yeah.
until we found out it was a glitch.
Yeah, it was glitch. Neither one of you are going to agree with me, but I think the top co-op game was Curse of the Sea Rats. I loved Curse of the Sea Rats so much. I think
it was the voice acting. That was the best part.
The voice acting was bad.
But you
But
liked it.
I didn't mind the game, but
There.
I think what was peeving me is
The
when...
dog bone quest was pretty good.
No. What peeved me a lot of times was, okay, so where are we going right now? Okay, we're going there. And then we're trying to head there, and then we go, oh! And then we take off, because Jen said, look, there's an opening! And then we're off.
That's inherently
Squirrel!
what Metroidvania is. You don't get to go everywhere you want to go. in a
You
straight
did?
line.
You went everywhere you wanted to go.
Probably took us twice as long to beat
That's
the game.
why I loved it so much.
Oh my goodness.
Bottom 3 single player games. Not worst, but bottom.
Bottom of the list.
But worst. The last one. Alone with You, Forgotten Anne, and Pineview Drive. And
surprised.
Pineview Drive was the worst. It's a terrible game.
Say it like you mean it. It was
I'm
bad!
surprised Forgotten Anne's on there. I didn't think you disliked it as much.
I really did enjoy it, but of all the games I played, and I played a lot of good games, and you guys will hear my list at the end,
I didn't see that many.
I just couldn't put that at the top.
How many good games did you finish?
Shut up. I played so many good games. It really killed me to put Alone with You and Forgotten Anne there. Ghost Trick could have been switched out for one, maybe, but I did laugh a lot at that one. I don't know if Forgotten Anne was a bit heavy, and it's been a bit heavy this last part of the year. So that could be why it didn't prevail above that bottom 3. But Pineview Drive was the worst game. It's one of the worst games I've ever played.
So listen up, kids. Don't play Pineview Drive.
Don't play Pineview Drive
If you're naughty, you're gonna get Pineview Drive this year.
for Christmas.
Santa's watching.
Santa's watching. Okay, so top 3 single player games.
Do you actually have an order for these? From
No,
third to first? No, you got to. I did it. You got
no, I have no.
third to first.
I have no.
No,
order.
you get third to first. What's the third? What's your number 3?
If you're holding a gun to my head, I gotta go Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as the bottom of the 3.
Wow.
It was great. It was the game I
But
played.
it wasn't as good as 2 other games, apparently.
Well, you'll understand why.
Excuse me. Could you look after my
It was the
friend?
Queen's
Just
Blood,
for a
right?
bit.
You couldn't
Oh, I loved playing Queen's Blood. It was so fantastic. But I think at some point during playing this game, I just was like, I need this to be done. Whether it was how I was feeling
Just a
playing
touch
it.
too long?
Well, I felt pressure to finish it. So maybe it would have been different had I started it in April and there was nothing I had to play right then.
Yeah.
October was a stacked month. October, November, that
You
time
had
of year.
started that and went like
Forever
July?
ago. I don't know. I would have to look back, but it was a while. I had played it for a long while. And I loved it, but not as much as these next 2.
Number 2.
This is going to be surprising. Silent Hill 2 remake.
Ooh.
Yeah. I would expect most people would think this would be number 1. And it is number 1 on this list as it shows, but I added the last one in at the final moment because I forgot about it.
She loved it so much she forgot about it.
No, it was because I played it so early in the year.
You want to talk about your
Yes, I
second
do.
best a little bit?
Silent Hill 2, the remake was so much needed. I'm very excited for seeing if they'll make a remake of the first and the third. The third one's my favorite in the series.
They're going to
for the-
remake everything. That's the trend now.
They might as
Do
well.
it!
Yeah.
Do it!
That's all they're
Do
doing
it.
now.
Do it.
Remake.
I get a little burnt out of horror games sometimes. But I do realize that
Well,
psychological...
if you played friggin' 17 of them there.
Well, but I didn't this year.
I know, so it was
Yeah.
better.
Psychological horrors hit a little bit differently. And this one was such a good remake. There was at no point besides trying to defeat Eddie.
James.
That I didn't. Even then, I loved this game enough to like put myself through the torture of trying to beat Eddie. I played it on normal, and that one Eddie fight was easily the bulk of my deaths. But it was so friggin' good. It was almost number one, but it wasn't because this game was number one.
Bring it out, Scott.
And it's not a modern game. It's a retro game.
Oh my.
It's the very first game I played on the system.
Dreamcast.
Yep, and I was so into this.
Do you remember me and Jen did this thing where we picked games for each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 games for each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this was one of them.
Scott picked this game for me. I was screaming down here, fire consume my enemy, lamb to burst, all the time. I loved this game.
I think I'm gonna have to lend Dennis my Dreamcast so he can play it.
Yeah, I've never played Skies of Arcadia.
It was an emotional roller coaster at times, and it hit as hard. No, it hit harder than Final Fantasy VII. This continues. Look, I say continues, but I've only played it this year. It is my favorite RPG. It is easily my favorite RPG. I can't believe I forgot it off the list, but I played it right at the first. Well, not at the first of the year.
Do you remember what I told you before you played it?
To read everything.
What I told you is, don't skip everything.
Yes.
Read the story. Get involved in the characters.
Well, Cody was constantly checking in with me too to
Yeah.
make sure I was reading everything, and
Just
I did.
read
I
everything.
didn't skip anything.
Like,
Take your
that's an
time.
RPG.
Get
Involved.
involved.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do with every RPG.
Yeah.
If you start skipping through stuff,
You're missing.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're missing stuff. You might miss what you need to do next, and then you're like,
Yeah.
well, I'm lost.
Because you have to get connected to the character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I think too? This had elements of Metroidvania in that you had to upgrade your ship to get to different areas of the map.
I can see
And I
that.
think that enhanced it for me because the more games I play, the more I really love Metroidvania to the point where, like I said, it might overtake horror at some point because I love that building on what I'm trying to do at the first of the game versus the last of the game. You're so much more powerful. You have so much more in your inventory. You've found these things. You've traversed the map. You've puzzled your way through. It encompasses a little bit of everything. That this is just like one of the best games ever made. It's sad it's never gotten a sequel.
I wish
It's
we would
my
just get a
favorite.
port. Get a port to one of the newer consoles.
Yes,
Yeah.
because both, no matter how you play this game on the GameCube or the Dreamcast, it's friggin' expensive, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
More people need to be able to play this, and I love it. It's one of, I don't know where it lands, but it's an amazing game. All 29 games I played. So, Alone with You for 8 hours, Papers, Please for 15, Fable 2, 18, Darksiders 34, Skies of Arcadia for 60, which I beat you by 15 hours. Don't know how. Ghost Trick 13, Gauntlet
Bragging.
10, Trine 5 for 25, Spider-Man for 35. A frigging awesome game that should have been in the top 3, but you saw what I played. Pineview Drive for 4,
That
Resident
would have been
Evil
right in there, number 5.
number 5. Resident Evil 6 for 20, Silent Hill Shattered Memories for 9, Condemned for 9, Deadly Premonitions for 23.5, Death Wish Enforcers for 1, Curse of the Sea Rat 17, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2.5 hours, Curse of the Moon 2 4.5 hours, Zombieland Double Tap 4 hours, Zombie Vikings for 10, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for 11.5, or sorry, 11.5. There is not a dot there. 115 hours. Callisto Protocol for 16 hours. Yeah. I played 11.5 hours just of Queen's Blood. Silent Hill 2 Remake for 30 hours. South Park Stick of Truth for 21. Record of Lodos, I'm not saying that whole title, for 10. Metroid Dread for 20. Forgotten Anne for 10. Eternal Darkness for 25. That probably would have been number 5. It was like nothing I've ever played. And Shantae Half Genie Hero for 9 hours. For my total of 578.5 hours.
So, we didn't do it in my video
Yeah.
because you cut me off short.
That's fine.
And the cameras had stopped on us and we had to record the
That's how we do
last
it.
quarter of the video.
This is how we do it.
But we give our top 3 games of the year, and I encourage people in the comments to give us your top 3 games of the year. And Dennis is also, we're going to record Dennis's next, because you're going to do it this year.
You're gonna
what games would you recommend? Going, like, seeing our lists, because this is what we constantly do with our friends and the co-workers and stuff. Like,
yeah.
What games would you recommend? You know what I like. What would you recommend?
Yes,
you know?
and...
Are there any surprises on the list that we didn't like or liked or what?
Who knows? I might pop something in or take this clip and throw it in Scott's video so you guys can do the same in his video, and we'll do the same in Dennis's. And until next time, or 30 seconds from now when we do Dennis's video, which you'll see in a week, game on.